Well, hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're back in the basement working on the CR250. We have the KYB forks apart still, and I got all my seals and bushings, so we are able to put this back together today, which is good. And I try to stick with OEM parts as much as possible. One thing that I couldn't is some of the bushings. I think these are the inner bushings. I got them right from Race Tech. And the outer bushings are OEM. I got my O-rings and my dust shield and my actual seal itself that comes as a kit from Honda. So I'll put the part numbers all in the description if you guys need it. But yeah, so we'll put these back together and be ready to go to the next step. Okay, so here's the order which you got to slide all your seals and washers on. First, it's your dust ring, the stop ring, your seal, the back end washer, I think it's like a back plate or whatever they call it, the outer bushing, then the inner bushing. And sometimes I put tape on it around the edges here, but I'll just, I applied some oil to it and I'll put a little bit more. I always keep a little cap of oil, by the way. And I just take my finger in it and wipe it around the parts to kind of help it. That's the order it's got to go on. All right, I put a little bit of electrical tape on the edge here to help the seal go on. Okay, we'll take the tape back off. Okay, this is what it should look like when it's done. The dust shield, the stop clip, the seal, the washer, outer bushing, and then the inner bushing. And I put oil on all these pieces too, so to help it out. All right, time to put the two pieces together. I noticed that my bushing that slides into the top here is really tight. So I'm gonna heat this up a little bit and then try putting it together. Okay. All right, there it goes. So we got the seal compressed to the point where I could see the slot to put my my clip in. Then you just got to compress the clip until it gets into the groove. Okay, that fell in pretty nicely actually. Okay, then we'll put our seal in. All right, so there's that. Okay, then we gotta put our protector clip on that goes on the fork here near the seal. All right, so now it's time to install the dampening rod. We do have the old O-ring that we need to replace. And we just slide that in. Compress this a little bit. Okay, and then you got to use your finger to line it up on the bottom here. Okay, then we got to put the lower units assembly back on. Alright, there's only so far you could go before it starts spinning internally, so we don't have the tool, so we're going to put the spring on, and then with the spring compression we could tighten this up. Alright, we'll keep on assembling this here. This is called the distance rod, I think. That goes in the middle. Then we have the piece that goes on top of that as well. Put that there. And this little piece goes on top of that. And the spring goes over all of that. All right, now that we got on the floor, we could put our nut on top. Okay. That could get locked in. All right. We could spin this cap on, then we could tighten that bottom nut there. All right, with the bottom nut threaded in loosely, I'm going to take an impact to it and just tighten it up. If you had the tool that goes inside, this would actually be tightened to 58 foot-pounds, but I've always had success with just using an impact. Okay, we could take this back apart so we can fill it up with oil. One thing to note, I put this on wrong. I should have gone that way. I realized that afterwards. All right, I got the top tube compressed all the way. We're gonna go ahead and start filling this fork with oil. The manual says that the full capacity should be around 550 cc's and to put about half in it to start off with. So I'm going to use excuse me, the Honda fork and shock oil suspension fluid SS-7 5-weight, and it looks like we have just under 150 here, so we'll go ahead and put that in. Okay, get another bottle. Okay, that's about 250. So then we got to put our hand over the top and just kind of work the fork a little bit to get the air bubbles out. All right, put a little bit more oil in there. Yeah, I'm not hearing any bubbles now, so. So the manual says you could go anywhere from maximum oil level of 96 millimeters from the top to I think minimum 120 something. I'm actually going to put it right at 95, and it's supposed to be a little bit stiffer. I do prefer the bike to be a little bit stiffer if possible. So this is a pretty cool tool here. It's a Motion Pro fork oil gauge, and what's cool, it has just a measurement, a millimeter measurement, and you can set it at whatever you want just by loosening this. And then, you know, I have this one set at 95, and you'll put this right up on top, and it will suck the oil until it reaches the top. Okay, so I need a place to put that. Let me go grab a little place to put that. So I'll just put it in here for now. There we go. So now you hear it sucking the air, so we have no more oil to pick up. So it's reached the height it needs. Now we could go ahead and assemble the fork. All right, now we've got to tighten this down, this cap. Let me go get a 17 mil. All right, so this gets tightened down to 16 foot-pounds. Okay. Then we'll bring our fork tube back up. All right, once I get this back on the bike, we'll tighten up the top tube as well. There it is, it feels good. Definitely a lot better than how it started, where it felt like there was no oil in it. So, alrighty, the forks are complete, ready to go. Now I just gotta get the rest of the bike ready. The next thing will be the frame. I'm gonna bring it to the powder coating Monday, but I'm just gonna have them sandblast it so I could fix a couple holes, not a hole, but a couple dents on the bottom rail, and then we'll powder coat it and start putting it back together. Then move on to the engine shortly after, as that will need a total rebuild. But thanks for sticking along if you made it to this point. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.